Hello, so I'm Felipe Aguiar. I'm a research fellow from Trinity College of Dublin. I'm part of the UMP Plus project. I'm going to give a brief introduction around nature financing. What are the basics of nature financing? And I wanted to start with a key question. What do we mean by financing? Financing refers to sourcing funds to create and maintain nature-based solutions. Nature-based solutions require funds across three phases. We have planning, capital investment, and operational costs. When we talk about planning, we refer to the design, to a feasibility analysis, or to the identification of stakeholders. When we talk about capital investment, we refer to the construction of the NBS itself, to the implementation, to the development. Regarding operational costs, we changed the focus to the maintenance, to the monitoring of the NBS across time. And we had the typical graph of the financing phases across time. Normally, the financing needs for an NBS would be at the highest point in phase 2 for capital investment. Now, it will be a mistake just to focus on phase 2 when we have phase 1 and phase 3, particularly on phase 3, as it goes along across time on the maintenance or also the governance of the NBS across time. Because we have this need to cover for the maintenance across time, then there's also a need to generate revenue to cover this cost. So when we talk about financing, it's not only related to the cost of implementing an NBS, but also to the benefits that this NBS can provide. In other words, the value creation of the NBS, or more formally, the business model for the NBS, or for sustaining or for sustainability of the nature-based solution. And I think another key question is, who pays for nature-based solutions for NBS? When we try to answer this question, we have the different types of finance. So normally, it can come from the public sector, from public revenues, or it can come from the private sector, seeking a return on investment, which is key, going back to that capacity of the NBS to create benefit. And we also have blended type of financing, which it will be the combination of these two, of the public and private. Now, some authors also include philanthropy as a third type of finance, separately from private. Sometimes it is within private, but with this categorization, it will be separate, as it will seek an impact rather than a return on investment, measurable impact of the benefits of the NBS. Unfortunately, 90% of nature-related projects worldwide are being funded by the public sector. On top of that, we have the EU's nature financing gap, where 65 billion are needed to achieve environmental targets. However, only 28 billion are currently being used, leading to a 37 billion gap that is needed to achieve environmental targets, that is needed for increasing implementation of nature. So a key question is, how can we unlock, given that we are relying mainly on the public sector, how can we unlock more finance from the private sector? And in the literature, we had some alternatives or some mechanisms for financing, and also some challenges. So for example, we have this tool, the Biofin Catalog of Finance Solutions, where we have a list of different mechanisms to finance nature-based solutions, with over 60 results, for example. We have their crowdfunding, green bonds, for example, or tourist taxes. So the literature around financing mechanisms is vast. But at the same time, the challenges that cities face when trying to finance nature-based solutions is also considerable. We have there, for example, lack of knowledge, we have different silos, and in general, every city will face different complex realities. If you want to know more of how to finance urban nature-based solutions, we recommend to have a look at the guidebook Action Plan for Financing Urban Nature-Based Solutions that have been produced by the UMP Plus project, where we give some recommendations of how to implement finance, among them how to also increase engagement from the private sector.